They can lift buildings clear of the ground, take the force of a dying star, and perfect time travel to bring up half of the world's population. However, their troubles don't end with their defeat of a purple villain or a spectacular fight against Stephen Wolf. All the awesomeness in the world cannot prevent some superheroes from struggle with more human issues such as depression, PTSD, and bipolar disorder. Today we're going to talk about 10 of our favorite heroes who battled evil as well as their even darker inner demons. Warning, spoilers ahead. Number 10, Iron Man. Iron Man opening scene with Tony Stark narrating. Our famous men said we create our own demons. In Stark's previous outing in the Avengers, which is set 6 months before Iron Man 3, he comes unfortunately close to death. This sets up the opening line perfect, especially considering the issue Stark grapples in the third Iron Man movie. We also see him changing the subject when Pepper Potts tries to warn him against the danger he will continue to face as a superhero. He then also tries minimizing his night terrors by avoiding sleeping as much as possible, which naturally does nothing to help him in the situation. When he's asked to sign a children's picture about the Battle of New York, Stark has to leave the building to get his emotion under control. These are sure signs of anxiety. Stark further tries to deal with them while developing a new Iron Man technology to avoid certain life and death situations in the future. Several online blogs and forums have also discussed the evidence that Stark had developed PTSD after the fight against Loki and his minions in the Avengers, hence the anxiety attack that often overcomes Stark. Some fans have praised the way he struggles with the anxiety and PTSD have been portrayed by the hugely popular Robert Downey Jr. They say it has helped to minimize the stigma around the mental health issue. Number 9. Thor. Thor was in himself when he appeared on the screen again in Avengers Endgame, 5 years after he finally chopped off Thanos' head. When Hulk and Rocket go looking for him in New Asgard, they are shocked to find that Thor has gained weight and apparently forgotten to wash his grown out hair. However, many fans were disappointed by how film set up Thor's scene for laughing, instead of recognizing that the superhero was suffering from PTSD, depression, and alcoholism. Thor's mental health decline had been coming from a while, even before Thanos appeared. Thor had lost his mother, his father, his beloved hammer, and his girlfriend. After the arrival of Thanos, Thor also lost his brother Loki and his friend Heimdall in a traumatic fashion. Not to mention that Thor felt survivor's guilt after he failed to stop Thanos at the first round. Some felt Thor's mental health struggle could have been treated with more respect. This could also lead a leasing Sigma in the way that above mentioned Iron Man scene have done. Number 8. SpiderMan. Tom Holland's Spider-Man is most probably the relatable Peter Parker we had in years. He openly displays emotion when fading away after the snap. In a heartwarming fashion, he's also happy to see Tony Stark again when the superhero returns from the epic battle of the Avengers Endgame. Peter's grip-stricken face when Tony dies had many fans reaching for the tissues. In short, Spider-Man is one of the most human superhero in modern Marvel films. However, Peter Parker's humanity also makes him incredibly susceptible to mental illness. In Spider-Man Far From Home, we see Spider-Man going against supervillain Mysterio, played by Jake Gyllenhaal. Mysterio reveals in crushing his opponent psychologically. He convinces Spider-Man that he is schizophrenic and suffers from multiple personality disorder. This leads Spider-Man seeking help from a psychiatrist and almost losing his mental stability. Although this might have been a part of Mysterio's plan to carry out on his evil schemes. But many fans believe that Peter Parker really does struggle from mental illness. Some believe it is a borderline personality disorder as Peter struggles to accept his responsibility as both Spider-Man and Peter Parker. He really only finds himself when decked out as the superhero, not to mention the possible depression after the death of his parents and his Uncle Ben. Number 7. Captain America. Captain America is quintessential good guy superhero. He always has ready smile, is willing to help and does not stop until evil is defeated. Not to mention that he possesses in Ant-Man's epic word, American ass. However, tragic events in Steve Rogers' past have led him to become depressed, which is evident in some of the scenes focused on him. One deleted scene from the Avengers shows Rogers leafing through documents that confirm all his old friends have died. The scene shows his emotional state by leaving him in darkness and dimming the colors surrounding him. And in a scene from Captain America Winter Soldier, Roger declines to go out on a Sunday night because he is still grieving for the loss of his friend. Later he states that he does not know what would make him happy, and he wouldn't know what to do with himself if he had to stop being Captain America. In addition, Roger suffers from sleep impairment, guilt over Sparky's apparent death, and lack of willpower to save himself when in mortal danger. This also shows the deep depression that Captain America constantly struggles with throughout several of his films. Number 6. The Scarlet Witch. Wanda Maximoff aka the Scarlet Witch and her brother Patio aka Quicksilver have a hazy background. Their original story has been reconned many times and created several complex stories about their childhood. What is known, however, is that Wanda and Patrio were often left isolated and starved when they were children. This led Patrio being cold in character and Wanda being dependent on a man who could not fulfill her emotional needs. Wanda eventually ends up with Vision, an android who seems to provide everything she needs. However, their happiness did not last. In the comic, Vision and Wanda had two children who were re-simulated by Mephisto. The couple were divorced at a point and Wanda turned to Agatha Harkness for comfort. Seems that all these unfortunate events coupled with Wanda's unstable childhood, leading to her becoming an unhinged and suffering a psychotic break during which she wiped out several mutants. Although the comic would define this as craziness or madness, the breaking was long time in the making. It caused Wanda to break ranks and go rogue several times. Number 5. Hulk. I am always angry. This iconic phase together with Hulk's smash is just the most memorable dialogue when it comes to Bruce Banner and Hulk. The first phrase, however, reveals the most about the angry green hero. Bruce Banner is notably shy nuclear physics genius. When unagreed, he turns into a Hulk who smashes everything in his path. This transformation has led the fans believe that Bruce Banner suffers from dissociative identity disorder or multiple personality disorder. They also believe that he had been suffering from the disorder long before he transformed into Hulk. There are several Hulk persona that adds weight to the theory, including Professor Hulk and Green Scar. In comics, Hulk realizes that anger and violence are taking a toll on his mental health. He seeks help from psychiatrist Dr. Len Sampson and starts on a journey to improve his mental health after a face-off with Mastro, an alternative evil version of Hulk. Number 4. Wolverine. In the movie Logan, Wolverine aka James Logan Holwith suffers from alcoholism, does not care about his own well-being or anyone else, and does not want to engage in a conversation about mutants. While taking care of an aging Professor X, Logan struggles with PTSD and night terrors. Even before these events, Wolverine had displayed symptoms of bipolar disorder with several mood swings and depression after witnessing his father's murder. His rage at the murder leads to an accidental death of his mother. Sadly, there is no light at the end of the tunnel for Logan. He dies at the end of the film with his restless demon still inside him. Number 3. The Unstoppable Wasp. In The Unstoppable Wasp, Naida Van Daan is forced to face her own mental health when she realizes that she is bipolar. It seems that she inherited the disorder from her father, Hank Pym, along with the ability to change her size. Nadia's mentor, Janet Van Dyne, let her friends know that Hank had bipolar disorder and that Nadia's messed up chalkboard looks a lot like a manic episode. Nadia also displays symptoms when she could not remember whatever she was assembling or talking apart a walkie-talkie. She has despite as being unable to sleep or eat until her work has been done to her satisfaction. And she also lashed out at her several close friends. In this issue, she quickly moves into a depressive state after she retrieves to her lab and faces episodes of bipolar rage. Marvel hoped that introducing bipolar disorder into the comics would help educate the readers about the mental illness. Number 2. Batman. Like many other superheroes, Bruce Wayne suffered from a traumatic childhood incident. In this case, seeing his parents murdered in a crime alley, it turned him towards the fight against the crime in Gotham City and made him into an unlike superhero. Converting his grief into something constructive, Wayne trained himself to be a fighter and used his skill to rid the streets of crime while dressed as a bat. It soon became apparent that Wayne is highly functional depressive with persistent depression disorder. Although he lives a fulfilling life, he is still giving a bout of despair. He uses his depression as motivation to move forward while cutting everything out of his life that does not contribute to his goal. Fortunately, Batman has a group of people around him who helps him to see the light. Notably, this includes Alfred Pennyworth, who acts as Batman's confident and occasional immature therapist. Number 1. Daredevil. Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil, also suffers from ongoing depression. His girlfriend Elektra was murdered, and another love, Karen Page, also died. Eventually, his wife Milla had a mental breakdown. Murdock has a Catholic background, and his depression is depicted as a demon that he cannot escape. In the 1986 Born Again story by Frank Miller, Daredevil is destroyed by Kingpin. Murdock also loses his job, his house, and the secure of a sound mind. His depression threatens to overpower him. Previously, his mother suffered from postpartum depression. It was also bad that she tried to kill Murdock when he was infertile. This confirms that Murdock's depression was inherited, as his struggle has proven valuable to comic book and superhero lovers worldwide, as those who suffer from depression have found kinship with Daredevil. Matt Murdock is also inspirational in the way he accomplished various feats despite the crippling disorder. So this was our pick on top 10 superheroes with mental illness. Do let us know in the comments if you agree or disagree with us, and also let us know if we missed on any other superhero who deals with mental conditions. For more updates, keep subscribed, and you can also visit us on wittyscoop.com.